As I left off, my family was at the door. I ran upstairs and put on something presentable. I decided to try and have a positive attitude about the visit and invited them in. You always hope that this visit will be better than the last. Maybe, just maybe, they will actually have a change of attitude and be accepting of who you are. You take another glance and realize it's just not going to happen. I can read it on their faces. Susan, my mother, the one who encouraged me with pageants as a young girl. She was one of those crazy competitive moms that spent oodles of money and made it my world. But then she was upset when I decided to go into modeling and skip college. I still don't understand that one. Carl, my father, he is a slave to my mother. The man will do whatever she says. He has lacked a backbone from the beginning, and to be honest, I'm just waiting for the day he gets sick of her and goes off the deep end. As bad as it sounds, I want to see him go off one day. I actually feel really bad for the guy. My sister Jenny. What can the girl possibly do wrong? She's the baby of the family and will do anything to please my parents, and she's definitely my parents' favorite because of it. She is just finishing up medical school and kept a 4.0 throughout the whole thing. How the hell do you compete with that? Last, and certainly not least, is James, my sister's husband. Now, we all know why they married, and it's not because of his great looks either. He is a partner at a well-known and established law firm. The man makes it known that he has money. I mean, seriously, you need to wear a suit to go on vacation? Yes, this was going to be a fun weekend. My mother was already griping. Lyla, where is the Christmas tree and decorations? You knew we were going to be here for Christmas over 2 weeks ago. At least it would give me an excuse to go out shopping alone, I hoped. I decided to call it a night and told them to make themselves comfortable. Of course my parents were comfortable. It was their rental property I was staying in. What, did you think this was my place? I couldn't even begin to afford it. I guess I should be grateful they have a little pity on poor old me. The next morning I got up early. I just couldn't sleep. I hopped in the shower and got dressed in record speed. I was hoping to get out of the house before anyone else woke up. I wanted to shop alone. I did not need any negativity from my family this early in the day. I headed down the stairs and I should have turned right back around. My mother was downstairs, all dressed and ready to go. Why? I swear the lady is a mind reader on how to make me miserable. I knew that she was going to ask to go, so of course I just invited her. I love living in California. I can wear what I want all year long. No snow, no cold weather, and it was a gorgeous day. The smell of the ocean nearly swept me away. We stopped to get some coffee. I sure needed it. I was starting to feel the effects of waking up a little too early. I usually loved my morning coffee and just to sit and people watch. People in general are interesting to me. I knew today that I wasn't going to be doing much people watching with my mother. I could tell she was dying to ask me what I've been up to lately with a sense of hope that I was actually getting my life together. So I started spilling the beans. Yeah, I'm with a guy I don't particularly like. I have about $50 in my account. Made out with my ex last week. I've gained 15 pounds because of trying to avoid him, and I have a big modeling audition coming up. So how are you doing? Did you just see her reaction? There is no way I would give her that much information. I stuck with the generic answers. Yeah, getting ready for a modeling audition in a couple of weeks. Did that brief summary suffice? Yeah, right. Instead I got, how are you and Ben doing? Have you found a steady job yet? And the questions kept rolling and rolling. I just kind of danced around them with generic answers. She didn't like that, but when has she liked anything I've done? We headed on over to the department store and picked up some Christmas decor along with the tree. I was glad she came along because she paid for most of it. That crap is definitely not cheap. As we were walking through the store, something caught my eye, and no, it wasn't a pair of shoes. I saw Kevin and his mother. This town is big, but not big enough, I tell ya. I had to get out of there pronto. I signaled to my mom, who by now was heading right in their direction. I felt like I had a lit-up sign across my forehead that read, impending disaster. Crap. Too late. My mom saw them too. Hi, Jane. How are you? Kevin's mom and mine actually got along pretty well, so I knew this wasn't going to be a hi and bye conversation. Kevin spotted me and headed over to my direction. Of all days to run into him, I had to be with my mother. Luckily, he didn't mention anything about the phone calls I've been avoiding or the whole incident altogether. That 20 minutes seemed like 4 hours, but finally the two mothers had chatted enough and we were out the door. Kevin, of course, had to say at the end, "We need to talk. Call me." Why? Now I'm going to have my mother down my back about that comment. We got home and started decorating. I thought maybe she didn't quite get what he had said because she hadn't mentioned anything about our little store run-in. Yeah, not quite. What was it Kevin needed to talk to you about? The way he said it sounded kind of urgent. Have you two seen each other lately? Ugh. I responded with a, "No, Mom, he just wants to catch up." I knew she didn't buy it, but she wasn't pressing for more information either, thank God. We got the tree up and the decor out. I must admit it looked beautiful. All that was left was a trip to the store for our Christmas dinner. I was handling that trip alone. The couple seemed to be nestled in front of the fireplace and tree, just relaxing. It was my perfect opportunity to get out. I told them I was running to the store and no one asked to go. It's little mercies that make my life somewhat bearable. I headed out and decided to stop at the mall to buy a couple outfits and shoes. I took a quick glance at the time and realized I had been in the store for nearly 2 hours. Crap. I was rushing out and something stopped me dead in my tracks. I saw Ben and lost my breath. No, he wasn't with another girl. He was at the jewelry store and he wasn't looking at bracelets and earrings either. He had a ring. Yes, a ring in his hand. I had to get out of there. I hurried out the store and hit up the nearest taxi. I almost forgot the grocery store altogether, but a block away from my house I had him turn around. I got home and put the bags away. It looked like my family may have decided to go out because it was so quiet. I sat down on the couch and cried. I know, not a normal reaction for a girl that knows her boyfriend is proposing. They must have got home and left me alone because I ended up on the couch all night. I woke up to my mother making pancakes and the smell of coffee. It was Christmas morning, and usually one of my favorite days. I had a lot on my mind. My sister and her husband came downstairs with smiles on their faces. At least everyone else was happy this morning. We sat down and discussed the plans for the day. We had a huge dinner to cook for the evening. Ben had to put in some overtime at work this weekend and was going to show up just in time for dinner. My parents couldn't wait to see him. They absolutely adored him. It seemed everybody did but me. Pretty pathetic, huh? I was not looking forward to this evening. I knew that I would be on pins and needles because I just had no idea what to prepare for. The night came quick, and after a lot of work, the meal was coming together rather nicely. I heard the doorbell ring and knew it was Ben. My mom yelled, "Come in!" and there he was. He looked handsome in his suit and tie. There was something in his eye that spelled out happiness tonight. We sat down to eat, and the conversation was actually going really well. No bragging from my sister or her husband. No condescending remarks from my parents. Just a nice peaceful dinner. Ben started standing up. Crap! Before he could get all the way out of his chair, my sister blurted out, "We found out we're pregnant this morning." Ben sat back down. I normally hate it when my sister takes the spotlight, but tonight I was grateful. Of course, everyone oohed and awed. After dinner, we headed over to the tree to exchange gifts. I poured some champagne and we put on the traditional Christmas music. I loved Christmas music. It always put me in a good mood with the message of peace, love, and hope. The couple started slow dancing in my small little living room and everyone seemed to be having a great time. There was no indication that Ben had anything planned. Maybe earlier he had to just use the restroom or something. Yeah, that was it. I was definitely just reading too much into his actions. Just as the night was coming to a close, it happened. He pulled out a little box from his jacket and presented me with the most gorgeous ring I had ever seen.